Hey guys, welcome to another volume of In My Travels. I've been rolling around, honey, out here in these YouTube streets and in these internet streets, and I've come across a couple things that I thought were very, very interesting. One of which, let's start right off with the Queen, Riri. Queen Riri. I ran across a story and it says that Aretha Franklin is actually going to be retiring after she's been in the business for over 50 years. And she is literally thinking of hanging up her furs and putting her purse down. Because Riri will get on stage with a fur coat on and have her purse like she don't trust nobody in the back and sit her purse on top of the piano and get to playing and carrying on. Hilarious. But she does her thing. She's actually doing this last album that's going to be released around September, and is being produced, and a lot of the stuff is being written by Stevie Wonder. So I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. But she's saying that she's leaving the business after 50 years. Um, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't see it happening. I think that once she releases this, and with everybody thinking it's actually going to be her last hurrah, I think people are going to show up. If she decides to do a few days, people are going to show up. I don't see her going anywhere. I can't see her, Patty, any of them, anybody that's been doing this as long as they've been doing it, I just can't see you leaving. It's like part of your life force. Like I just don't see you stopping. Like literally, Ruby D did movies until that was it. There was nothing left. You know what I mean? That's what I see for Riri. I don't know. Maybe she's just tired. She said she wants to spend time with her grandkids and this, that, thing, and the other. But I believe you could do that. But I just don't see her sitting her craft down. I really don't. And then if she does, I hope it doesn't take her down. You know what I mean? Because once you get older and then you don't do what you love anymore, that's when you become old. So I don't want to see that happen to her. But I mean, you got to do what it is you think you want to do. Whatever decision you make, Riri, we will be behind you with it. But yeah, 50 years in the business, and Riri is thinking of hanging up her pumps, baby, putting her purse down and taking off her fur. All right, we'll see what happens. Can't wait for the release in September. Can't wait to see what the music's going to sound like. All right. Hey, okay, this is a little off, a little different, but can we talk about boy parts? Two little stories that I ran across here in my travels in the last few days, honey. One was about Omarion, and one was about Trey Songz. First, Omarion. Suppose that a tape leaked by one of his angry exes of Omarion doing what has been called the helicopter. So Omarion standing and literally just swinging the meat in a circular motion, and they're calling it the helicopter. Like, really, Omarion? Like, where did they do this? Where did they do this at? This is like crazy to me. I don't know if there's anything that I'm ever going to actually get used to is when guys have actually just started, like, leaked sex tapes and leaked pictures were always females. It was always females, and then when it became males, it was a lot of times it was Caucasian males or males of another race. But black guys now, hey, they're like, look, I want in on this too. I want to show what I got. Hey, go for it. Now I'm always that one that says, you know what, do what you want to do. If you want to show it, make sure that you actually have something to show. And in this case, Omarion, go right ahead on, baby. Helicopter on, honey. Fly on up. Um, Trey, old Trigger. Trigger ended up, he had a sex tape leak. He's literally screwing this chick right in the back door, honey, and telling her to relax, and then told her, I fuck you in every hole, don't I? I said, oh my. Nobody, nobody is leaving anything to the imagination anymore. Everybody's doing everything, and getting caught. Or they may not be getting caught because you know these cameras are rolling. I mean, literally with Trey, he knew that camera was rolling. He talking all into the camera. So give me that asshole. I said, oh my. Okay. I'm like, well, eventually I guess somebody will get smart enough to just say, let me go on and just make a sex tape. I might as well go make some money. You know, y'all running behind Ray J anyway. You might as well go. Because this shit here with Trey Songz, baby, you should just went on and get you some lighting and everything and go ahead on and make you a sex tape and make a coin off of it because we've seen everything. We've seen everything. We heard it. We nothing left to the imagination when it comes to Trigger anymore. But again, at least you actually had a little something that was even worth even bothering looking at. So, hey, carry on, honey. Carry on, children. A mess. But there's some money to be made, I'm sure. Somebody will buy the tape, honey. Well, guys, I have a little bit of sad news that I'm sure everybody has actually heard about. All those who bought Coachella tickets kind of got a blow to the kidneys and a kick to the back because Beyonce actually canceled her performance at Coachella, but it was actually due to doctor's orders. I mean, come on, what can you say? She is pregnant with twins. I kind of figured this was actually going to happen, especially once it was twins and not just one baby. And then when I seen her at the Grammys, I was like, oh, I don't know if Mama gonna be able to pull this one off. You know what I mean? So she's actually canceled her appearance at Coachella, but she will definitely be back next year for Coachella. But as a replacement, they got Lady Gaga. So it's actually really cool. I mean, because Lady Gaga puts on a hell of a show, and she's a hell of a musician as well, hell of a performer. Again, there's no real comparison because I don't know that they actually share a lot of the same thing. Well, I'm sure some of the fans are the same, but you know, if I had myself all ready to go to see Beyonce, I would probably be a little ticked, but Gaga was pretty good. Gaga will actually, I think she'll turn it out, and especially that type of situation, um, the type of concert and the type of atmosphere that it is, I think Gaga will do a very, very good job. So don't be too upset. And the Queen will be back next year. Next year, the Queen will be back. You have all the way from now until then to save up for another ticket. And she'll be right on back doing what it is that she does next time. But Lady Gaga is going to be the one that turns it out. And she has tons of hits. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Also, speaking of performers, Azealia Banks. This child, I just don't get her. This child always has herself in some type or form of trouble. It's always something with her. Now, Star Power failed her the other day. She was supposed to appear in court because she had an incident where she bit a bouncer on the boob back in 2015. She doesn't show up for court. And I guess she figured her lawyers or whoever would actually take care of it, say that she couldn't make it. But the only problem is why you can't make it. When you just don't show up for court, you need a real good reason why, unless your star power works for you. Well, in this case, her star power didn't work for her. Azealia Banks got pictures all over her Instagram because she's over at Fashion Week in Paris. And she's snapping pictures and pussy popping. But she needs to backpedal her ass on right on back here to the States, honey, because there's a bench warrant sitting, waiting for her arrest. So, girl, you better have a good time while you can, because when you get back, baby, they're going to give you a set of lovely silver bracelets that don't match any of your outfits, honey. A mess. When star power goes wrong, honey. A mess. You know they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So let me give you a picture. Here's one right here. Look at this. Okay. Now, that is a whole damn mess. That's your White House advisor, Kellyanne Conway. Where was this heifer raised? In a barn? In a barn. You are kneeling on the couch with your feet up in the Oval Office in the White House. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then you go into this whole thing because, of course, you know that created a media frenzy when that picture came out. Then you tried to flip the shit and tried to Olivia Pope it. You're not Olivia Pope, boo. She literally just lied, or maybe it was an alternative fact. I didn't mean to. Some old shit about trying to get an angle for a picture or something. Girl, that wasn't nothing but barn life, honey. That's what we was looking at. Barn life in its entirety and in all its glory. Girl, you ain't got no good raising at all. You were disrespectful, and it was real trifling to be up in anybody's house, up on their couch with your feet up on their couch and your knees in their couch. Couches are for sitting. That's it. Sitting. Not kneeling, not leaning over, not laying, unless, of course, you're a porn actress. Or, you found yourself way too comfortable. Because then I came into another picture, and what's next? Will you be this comfortable? Take a look at this picture. Is that your next Oval Office pose, darling? I'm just asking. It was disrespectful, like I said. And then you had the nerve to say that, oh, well, the good thing about this, like I said, you tried to Olivia Pope it. The good thing about this is maybe it will provoke conversation outwardly and get people talking about greater respect for Dawn Dawn. No, it won't. You don't respect Dawn. And you put him in the White House. You voted him in the White House. Why the hell should we respect him? If you putting your feet up on his couch, then what the fuck? I'll stand up and sit on the back of the bench. If you up there, you kneeling down on it, I'll just stand up and sit right on the back of the motherfucker and ride it. What the hell? Child, night, Miss Conway, girl. You're a hot mess, Kellyanne. Get on. So let's talk about, really quickly, I know people have been asking me what was I going to say about this since it actually started. And really, I wasn't going to say much because I'm not a big rap music fan. But Remy Ma versus Nicki Minaj. That has been the talk for the last 2 weeks. Okay, so there's a beef with Remy and Nicki. I don't have to go real deep in this because you all know what's going on. There's a beef. Remy came out with Sheether and literally dragged Nicki through the mud. Everything that you've ever heard negative about Nicki Minaj was included in Sheether. Okay? She even went as far as to talk about Nicki's sibling that had accusations of pedophilia. She even talked about that. Now, I tell you all the time, all's fair in love and war. So it is what it is. And when you get to beefing with a bitch, you hurt them. That's what you do. You hurt them. And when you're beefing, no one can tell you when to stop and when to hold up and how much to give. Beefing is just that. It's beefing, period. And then enters into the mix Foxy Brown. Because there was a line in Sheether that smacked the shit out of Foxy on the left side of her face too, that talked about being deaf due to a little gonorrhea complication. So that kind of gave her, it was like running at Nicki and then seeing her and was giving, just smacked the shit out of her on the way over. So Foxy released her little song that was called Breaks Over. She didn't have to. She could have left it alone. After Sheether, Remy released another song called Another One. And she got a little backlash, and folks was like, they thought it was overkill and that kind of thing. But like I said, if I get to beefing with you, nobody tells me when to stop beefing with you. I will let you have it until I'm tired of letting you have it. And Remy is actually made of the same pettiness as me. And she believes that too. So she did what she wanted to do, the way she wanted to do it, and it is what it was. Now, Nicki has not responded. That has been the big thing. But Nicki really doesn't need to respond. There's really nothing to respond with. What do we really know about Remy? She shot somebody, she did some time in jail. Now, if you're not going to talk about this miscarriage that she suffered on Love and Hip Hop, she already went through that. She suffered a miscarriage. Foxy brought it on up. But immediately when Shether came out, people irritated the hell out of me because they jumped right in and was saying, she better not say nothing about the miscarriage. She better not. Why? Why? Do you not think that it was just as... Do you think Nicki's feelings weren't crushed when she talked about her brother? All's fair in love and war. Now, is it raunchy? Yes. But beefing is raunchy. It is what it is. It is what it is. And I laugh too. Enough. This is on a personal note from a YouTuber standpoint. I loved seeing all the people saying, oh yeah, child, I'm here for the beef. I'm here for the beef. I'm here for this hip hop beef. These are some of the same people that was giving, oh, it's so sad whenever YouTubers start beefing. Ain't that the same thing? Ain't that the same thing? Somebody arguing in the public and you intaking it and it has nothing to do with you. Isn't it the same thing? Or is it that when we beef, we don't put music behind it? So if we put a little music in the background, then I guess you'd be okay. Patty, maybe. But I'm just saying. Anyway, so Remy ended up going on to Wendy. She actually had an interview on Wendy Williams. And she went on and I thought it was kind of silly because she gave a lot of her shine. Because when's the last time Remy got to actually be on like a show like Wendy Williams or anywhere where people are really interested in what you have going on? Because she came out with an album. The sales weren't all that great, but she didn't really talk about the album with her and Fat Joe. She spoke more about the shit with her and Nicki while she was on Wendy. You gave your whole shine to Nicki, so Nicki won on that. She didn't even try. You just gave that part of the bad old way. She talked about it. She talked about how she was dressed. She was literally dressed for a funeral. She dressed in all black with a little hat on and a veil and all that. So she was dressed for a funeral. So you styled yourself around the situation with you and Nicki. Then she talked about what her grandma used to tell her. Her grandmother told her, don't speak ill of the dead. That was for Nicki because she had killed her over the mic. Then she went on and said how what people don't know is that Nicki is really just not a nice person, and it was a lot of things that happened behind the scenes is why this actually took place, and that she was really, that Nicki's been doing some things to really mess up Remy's money in the background, again, using her star power. Talked about Meek Mills, and Meek Mills was one of the ones that her and him are friends, and that's where she got a lot of her information about what she did rap about and that kind of thing. It seems to me like pretty much your whole interview, other than 2 or 3 lines, was really dedicated to the Minaj. So I kind of think Nicki kind of won that round, and she didn't even have to open up her mouth. You literally gave your Wendy interview that you may never have again to Minaj. So that was smart on Nicki's part. But yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. But again, I mean, fight till you get tired, y'all. Fight till you get tired of swinging. Ain't no rules. Hip hop or otherwise, there is no rules. Fight until you get tired of swinging, or until, because people are never going to get tired of listening. They'll say that shit, but honey, they'll continue listening. They'll continue talking about it and all of that. Fight until you get tired of swinging, girl. And Nicki, yeah, you probably should just shut up, honey. Because I don't see what Nicki's going to actually be able to come back with, because talk about money and stuff like that, nobody even cares. Nobody really cares about that. I got more money than you, so what? Nobody cares. So that's what's been going on with them. And then earlier today, Safari was actually on Wendy. And Wendy tried to make a lot of his interview was about the Nicki and Remy situation, but Safari is crafty. And that show pony found a way to continue bringing the interview back to him. He must have taken the Matthew Knowles class, because he definitely kept bringing that shit back full circle back to him and that glittery belt, them glittery shoes he had on. He's like, oh no, these hoes are not going to eat up my goddamn camera time. I may never be here again. He's a crafty one. He knows how to move about. He really does. And I'm glad he left that goddamn fur at home. Left the fur at home, wore a real pretty blue suit. He looked cute. He did. He looked cute in a Michael Jackson kind of way. All right, so that's it. This is all I have to talk about for right now. Thank you so much for tuning in to another volume of In My Travels. You guys know I have my ear to the ground. And when I run into some things that are talkable, I'll see you guys then. Later.